Hey guys, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we're playing Crysis 2 on the Xbox 360. This is actually kind of an interesting title because although they eventually did it with the Crysis 2 engine, which is obviously the engine this is running on since the title of this game is called Crysis 2, originally they didn't think Crysis 1 was actually going to be able to be run on consoles, so it was really interesting when they announced Crysis 2 for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and it's supposed to be the better looking game, better looking than even Crysis 1, which I guess is why they were able to do Crysis 1 with this particular engine with a little bit of downgrades, but not enough to ruin the experience. I absolutely adore Crysis 1, and it's my favorite game out of the series. This is my second favorite and the third one, and it's not bad. It's just, if I had to make a list, the third one would be my least favorite out of the series. This is a great game. Let's start. It's not going to start at the beginning because there's a lot of story crap and stuff like that. I know how much you guys just want to get right into the action. Actually, I'm just assuming that, but whatever. I would want to get into the action, and I'm trying to place myself in your guys' shoes, so hopefully I'm making the right decision. But this is still fairly early in the game. It just cuts the story part out. So this game looks quite nice for the system. One of the best looking first person shooters still, I think, for the Xbox 360. Hold on to your socks. We're gonna get some incredible bloom lighting here, I think. Yep, there you go. New York City and it's all its alien invaded glory. You see Lady Liberty over there. She's not looking too hot. I have no idea how compressed she looks on YouTube, but half of the bottom of her toga or whatever the hell she's wearing is kind of blown off. Unfortunately, she's not naked under there. It's actually a bunch of staircases and metal wire frames and stuff, so sorry to disappoint. She's not naked under there, so you're not going to see anything inappropriate. It's not anatomically correct. I know, bummer, right? Bronze statue, not anatomically correct, especially considering since you can actually go inside of her and look into her little hat that she's wearing. Okay, yeah, so this is like an improved suit. We don't even have a weapon yet. So this game is a little bit more condensed. So basically the way this game works versus the first one, although later on the first one is kind of like this, but at the beginning of the first one, the environments are like super destructible. Do I gotta really tag people? Seriously? I don't really want to do what they're telling me to do. But this suit's a little bit more energy efficient. I think you get special modes with your eyesight and stuff you didn't get in the first one. I don't know. Haven't played this in a while. Anyway, this is New York. I know the third gameplay takes place in New York. You didn't really get to see it because it was later in the game, but it's like a terraformed New York under a globe where all this grass and shit took over. It looks really nice, but I kind of like the concrete jungle of this game, and it looks really nice, and the aliens haven't fully invaded. You spend a good portion of actually fighting people in this game, kind of like the beginning of the third one, although I feel like in the third one you fight aliens a lot more often. Some of my modes are locked right now because I'm sort of in like this tutorial mode, which really doesn't really do me any favors by turning off my armor and shit. I should have traced everybody or locked onto them or whatever the hell you call it, tag them like you do on like Far Cry or the other Crysis games, which always felt like Crysis were really the true sequels of Far Cry, because the original Far Cry was made by this development team. Although I do like Far Cry 3, and I like the first Far Cry. Can't stand 2, I probably said that in other videos. And 4 looks pretty cool too, so I think they learned their lesson. Ho ho, I got a machine gun. If you ever played Die Hard trilogy, I like it when John McClane, in the first Die Hard game and the Die Hard trilogy game on PlayStation 1, I also believe it was on PC and Saturn, whenever he got a machine gun, he goes, ho ho, I got a machine gun. And it's just terrible Bruce Willis sound alike. Good times, good times. I don't know if that's on the PlayStation Network or Xbox. Well, I don't think it'd be on the Xbox Live Arcade because they didn't have it, a Microsoft system back then. So if it was available for download, it'd only be available for download on the PlayStation Network. And they also had a sequel, Die Hard Trilogy 2. And this was before they had the other Die Hard movies, so they had to make up like their own story that takes place in Las Vegas. It was pretty cheesy, but it's kind of cool because you get to use a light gun. Like the way Die Hard Trilogy 1 worked is the first game was like a, I don't know, like a isometric view shooter. The second game, which is the second movie, was a light gun game where you actually could use a light gun. It didn't support the gun con though, which is like the best PlayStation light gun you could get, although they don't work on any of the newer TVs now. But that one was so accurate because it actually hooked up to the video input of the PlayStation, so it communicated with that where you could get pinpoint accuracy. I don't think the first game supported it, but the second one did, and it was a blast with the light gun. Not enough light gun games anymore, and the light gun games that do come out now use like some sort of motion sensor like the Wii remote, and it's just not the same. You can't like look through the sights of one of those type of light guns and actually be accurate, because it's more about just where you're aiming the reticule, not how you're aiming the gun. It's hard to explain, or hard for me to explain while I'm trying to play this game. I haven't been in New York since I was a kid, so I'm not actually familiar with the area I'm at, or if this is accurate beside all the sci-fi shit added to it. But I mean the actual view of all this, I don't know how accurate it is. But the way this game works is usually go through like a sandbox level, kind of like what I was in. I only have cloak mode enabled. I don't have my armor mode yet. That sucks that they disable it. Like in the first game, you had it available for you right off the bat. So this looks like another sandbox area. I should tag everybody, right? Good idea. Except it's really not helping me. I used to have the PlayStation 3 version of this. I really can't compare to which version looks better. I think the PlayStation version has the same texture quality. It might just not look as high resolution because I think maybe the resolution's slightly lower, and their anti-aliasing method, especially if it's the hardware anti-aliasing method, kind of blurs things out a little bit, especially the edges, which gives it kind of a fuzzy look. But I mean, you can't go wrong with either system. I do think the Xbox 360 version, or any Xbox 360 first-person shooter, is better suited with the Xbox 360 controller. But I mean, that's personal preference. Some people love the PlayStation 3 controller for first-person shooters. I do prefer the Battlefield games on PlayStation systems for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think they look slightly better. I don't know. It might be a psychological thing. I don't know. I think there's little effects and stuff, and I don't know. I think what's good about the Xbox 360 controller is the sticks don't feel like they have as much range, or there's more tension in the sticks, and I like the triggers better. But I mean, the newer PlayStation 3 games don't use the triggers, thank goodness. But I think with Battlefield, because you have to be more accurate and sensitive with the controls and stuff, I think the analog sticks work a little bit better. I don't know why. It might be a psychological thing. I just prefer Battlefield games on PlayStation systems. And when it comes to Call of Duty, I'm Xbox all the way, except for the PlayStation 4. Because I think they pretty much found a middle ground that I like more than both controllers. And I think the PlayStation 3 controller is actually best suited for platforming and side-scrolling games and fighting games. But usually when it comes to a port, as much as I love my PlayStation, I love all my systems, the Xbox 360 seems to get better ports. But I mean, they're pretty, this day and age, it's rare to find like a really compromised port versus like back in the day. They've really found out how to program it. But now that we're moving on to a new generation, the PlayStation 4 is usually getting the better ports. Actually, I really don't know of any PlayStation 4 port that was not better than the Xbox One. The only game I've heard that the Xbox One did something better, and it was very slight because the PlayStation 4 had higher resolution, had something to do with the texture filtering on Thief, where I guess the draw distance of the sharper textures were farther away on the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4. But you know, I've only played the Xbox One once for like 5 minutes. I played Forza 5, so that's all I know. And I don't want to feel like I'm picking on a system I've never played before. I'm just going by what the internet says, and you know the internet's usually right about everything. So really wish I had that armor mode. See, I'm used to playing with the armor mode, so I'm going guns a-blazing. I need to be a little bit more careful. You might have noticed the environments aren't as destructible. Just a lot of bullet holes and shit. It's also hard to play these types of games with without the sound all the way up. But I mean, it's common fact the PlayStation 4 is a more powerful system. I'm not like a tech guy. I don't know how much more powerful it is or how much difference the power makes, but I know that even without the Kinect, they're still releasing games on 900p when the PlayStation 4 version's 1080p, and sometimes the 900p games have some frame rate issues that the PlayStation 4 doesn't have. So I mean, PlayStation 4 definitely seems the way to go. The only thing that's sort of lame is that since Microsoft has a shitload of money, and I know Sony's business as a whole isn't doing that well. I know their PlayStation market is, but Microsoft is rich as shit, and they're buying like a lot of exclusive titles, which kind of sucks. Like that Sunset Overdrive game looks really cool. And they got Titanfall, which probably would have been cool in the PlayStation 4, but you know, they released it on Xbox 360 as well, so I can play it on that. Although I wouldn't pay full price for the game. I'll get to that on a different video. I feel like since it's multiplayer, it's only half of a game, especially since it doesn't, you can't blow up monuments. Oh, you can. Eat my words, I guess. I guess they were expecting some sick fuck was gonna shoot the head off that statue. I don't want to waste any more ammo. Can't help it. I have this weird problem where I have to try to blow up heads off of the statue. Sorry if you really like this monument. Apparently that doesn't blow up. What about this fence? Yeah, that's destructible. This is why it'd be boring for me to try a let's play after a while, because I'll be shooting random shit like that. Although I guess these would be considered let's play videos, but I mean like let's play videos that play throughout the whole game. It'd just be me doing experimentation. Oh, that doesn't blow up. That's a really well-made palette. Yeah, one disappointing thing about this game is the environments aren't nearly as destructible. At least they don't seem to be. But there's also a lot more geometry and detail on the screen too, so can you break the windshield? Yes, you can. I meant to do that. I don't suck this bad in real life. I've actually finished this game, at least the PlayStation 3 version. I'm sure the difficulty's the same. Part of my problem is I don't have the sound down and I'm fucking around instead of taking things seriously, because you know how serious you're supposed to take video games. So after I'm done this video, I'll actually have the whole Crysis trilogy covered, and that'll be one notch on my belt. I actually did some footage of this game a long time ago when I first started my channel. I'll leave it on just in case you guys are curious. If I didn't erase it, I'm not sure if I erased it. It was really bad quality because I recorded it with this budget camera. I think it was like literally a budget camera, like $40 budget camera that I got from like a wholesale discount store or something. It literally ran on AAA batteries. This is when I first started doing my channel. And did any of these bricks come off? No, those are well made bricks. Instead of using mortar, apparently they used freaking titanium or some titanium alloy that they probably make fake joints out of. This is where the homeless people and the geniuses that are like autistic and shit play chess and will be able to beat you no matter how good you are. Oh, trash can rage. Sorry, I had to do it. And I'm pissed that I didn't go that far. This game has physics, but nothing seems to want to blow up as well as the first game. I'm wasting so much ammo just messing around. It's pathetic. That smoke actually looks quite nice. This is a fun game. It's just, it was weird when I played the first one because I almost felt like it was a step backwards. I just like the free roaming, even though this is still somewhat open-ended. Every once in a while it'll funnel you in, and it is a gorgeous game. I do think it looks a little bit better than the first game, but I mean, the first game you could drive a truck and, I mean, blow some shit up. Beside a few monuments, like, almost everything would fall down. Like if this was the first game, this whole little situation up here would have fell apart. This game has like these sci-fi like weapons with all this weird digital camo on them. There's probably a story behind that. I don't remember why. Health critical. Well, if I had the damn armor mode, you didn't force me to go through this fucking tutorial. Let me try to find a way around this Jurassic Park looking fence. I can't see you guys that well. Do I have a grenade by chance? No, just stealth. This game's kind of weird with the grenades. You gotta... It says push X the tag, but it doesn't seem to be working. I'm probably not doing it right. I haven't played this game in ages besides testing it out when I first got it for this video. Yeah, I bought this for this video, plus I missed having the Crysis games, and I always wanted to try out the Xbox 360 version. I like to check out different ports. I just like to see how like a different machine interprets a game, you know, because a machine like, well, consoles at least for the most part, PCs are kind of similar because I guess they run on the same operating system. Maybe it depends on what card you have or settings, but I like interested in consoles, especially PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis versus Super Nintendo. Now the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are like comparing different spec PCs, but I mean the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 have very different rendering techniques with their hardware, so it's interesting to see how they interpret and try to display the same game. So I like to see the differences between Crysis, although I don't see too much of a difference because it's been so long since I played the original game. It's hard to tell, but this version, if I go just by memory, it seems a little bit sharper. But that's the only difference, and I think that might be just because of the PlayStation's hardware anti-aliasing, that even though the texture quality and everything's the same, it looks blurrier because it like adds a filter. So anyway, to give you an idea of the story, you're like in this quarantine zone because there's this virus that's going around that's killing people. So this is like the funnel part, and then it goes to a sandbox, and then it funnels again. And the whole game's kind of like that. And the last parts of the first game are kind of like that. They're all kind of like that towards the end. It gets more linear, but I guess it makes the game more difficult when they do that. By the time you get to the third Crysis, like, your suit's way more energy efficient. Like in this game, if you use your gun, like, your stealth automatically turns off, the same with the first game. But if you play the third game, did I say first game? The first time? Well, this in the first game, if you use your gun and it's, even if it's silenced, where's that light coming from? If you play the first or this game, I want to finish this sentence before I open the gate. Even if your gun's silenced and you're in stealth mode, it'll turn your stealth mode off. In the third game, it'll stay on, so you can still be stealthy when you're in your little stealth mode. It's a nice looking title, I have to say. At the sacrifice of almost everything not being destructible. The only thing that's really destructible are like the little things that you hide behind. Like these things. I don't know if these will be destructible. They probably program it based on what you're hiding behind.
Listen, something pretty massive just happened to the suit. The whole thing went down.
He looks like he's seen better days.
Everything's falling apart. Infected all over the place. Poor bastards.
On a high-end PC, I'm sure this game looks amazing. When this game first came out, a lot of people bitched that they didn't take advantage of the PC, and Crytek catered to the consoles more. And then they released some really high-end texture pack on the PC. That's why I said, like, out of some of these older games that they're doing remastered versions of, it'd be cool to maybe remaster the Crysis series and actually show off what these games are really capable of. I mean, if they look this nice and this was only using a partial amount of the engine's power, just imagine what it'd be like. Not even if it wasn't at the PC's highest specs, you know, maybe if it was just a middle ground but higher than this, they would look really nice, and it'd be really cool to have all the games on one disc. I would love to have a physical console copy, and an even better one like on the PlayStation 4. Like, I would buy it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't care if I owned the games like I do now. So, you know, if you're listening, if somebody from Crytek happens to watch my channel for some reason, which, how cool would that be? But I doubt they would. They should definitely look into doing that. I would like to have some grenades too, you know. I don't know why you guys get to hog them all. I think in this game you have to actually individually push a button to grab the grenades. I don't have that many bullets in this. Hopefully there's more in this. The feline. I don't even know what the hell some of these guns do. Even though I finished the game, I forget. Like, it's like, at least the first game you had like some normal ass weapons like AK-47s and shit. At least I have a decent idea of what that does, since they're in almost every first person shooter ever. As far as these futuristic tools of destruction, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm going backwards here. Try my feline. Well, this feline gun seems to work halfway decent. Also have my armor mode on, so right now, suit feature wise, I'm on a gravy train with biscuit wheels. Alright. Tag him. I think I'm tagging. Although they don't have shit hovering over them, so are they really tagged? I guess so. I guess when it has that red that's solid like that, it means it's tagged. At least I think the color's red. Are there any other buttholes just coming around? There you go. Get tagged. You don't appear to be tagged. You're tagged. Alright. And somehow these eagle-eyed motherfuckers see me. That's okay. Go ahead, fight it. I don't care. Enjoy it while it lasts. Don't shoot me anymore. I don't want that car to blow up. Who's shooting at me now? One thing about this game that you immediately start to have to adjust to is it's hard to go guns blazing, because all of a sudden all these other guys will come out of nowhere. I don't know whether they call for backup or they're actually there. I can't remember. playing as many video games as I do, I'll do that to you. I don't even get paid to play this shit. I should. So if anybody's listening out there that wants to give me that opportunity, I'd be happy to oblige. I'm sitting Indian style. Is that a racist comment now? If it is, I don't mean it to be. But I'm sitting on the floor with my legs crossed in a way that some might say Indian style. And my legs asleep because it's hardwood floor and there's no cushion. And I probably have bad circulation and it's probably hinting towards diabetes or something horrible. That'll probably eventually kill me in the long or short run, depending on how I decide to live my remaining years. But my foot's asleep and I'm playing this very uncomfortably. I'm trying to do a bunch of videos at once, so I can just render them like every couple of days or so. This is my second video and I'm just like, how many more videos I gotta do? Not that I don't mind making them. And for you that I said that if you're listening to this and you want to pay me to play video games, totally ignore that, because I would love to get paid to play video games. Though I would love to get a gun with more ammo in it too. Just throw it on the floor. It's not like it's a I guess it probably costs like a few $100. I don't know if these futuristic tools of destruction would be over 1,000. But yeah, I would totally appreciate playing games. I'm not complaining, I promise. Look, it didn't even blow up that scaffold thing. What the hell, man? The other game, I could blow up somebody's whole house. And if I saw another one, I'd just blow it up again. This, you're lucky if you can blow up glass. I think maybe later on. I know there's some parts where shit you hide behind blows up. I just think they kind of select what can be blown up and what can't. Somebody ransacked this store. This is why I don't have any ammo. It's not because I'm a terrible shot, even though I am a terrible shot. But it's because I keep on messing around trying to see what's destructible or not. Just give me the ammo for this gun. I don't care. It's your lucky day. I guess lucky means you're gonna get shot in the Crysis world. I'm guessing that place at some point sold donuts. I don't know what tipped me off. Perhaps the gigantic donut up top. Was I already here? All these fucking buildings look the same. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna stop here before this video is even more excessively long than it is. I hear people like, oh, I'm almost at the 20-minute mark. I'm like, jeez. 20 minutes a long video to them, and here I am rambling and I'm past the 30-minute mark. Apparently the windshield of that bus is made exceptionally well. This just cracks. What the heck is this bus made out of? But yeah, this is Crysis 2, an excellent game. I'll list them from best to my least favorite in the Crysis trilogy. Crysis is the best in my opinion. Crysis 2, this game I'm playing right now, is the second best. And then Crysis 3 is the third best of the series. I don't know if they'll make any more of these games, but you should definitely check out this series if you enjoy first-person shooters with a little bit of freedom in them. This is the 360 version that's also available for the PlayStation 3 and a PC. Obviously, the PC's the most decent version. You probably need a fairly decent PC to play it at the highest settings. I don't know, my computer would blow up if I tried to run Crysis 2 on low settings, so I really don't know what you need to run it. You can look all that stuff up on the wonderful World Wide Web. Between the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 version, you won't be missing out if you get the PlayStation 3 version. But I think because of this, the Xbox 360's controller is better equipped for these type of games. I think if you have a choice, the Xbox 360 version is the way to go. Also, I think, and I'm just going by memory, I could be completely wrong, this version is slightly sharper, so it looks a little bit nicer. Not by much, but I mean, I'm trying to tell you, like, if you had a choice which ones to get. So based on the controller and slightly sharper graphics, I think the Xbox 360 version would be the way to go if you had a choice. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching my channel, and feel free to click the thumbs up button if you like this and leave a comment, positive or negative. If you decide to leave a negative comment, don't be a jerk or say mean things to me or other people. And leave constructive criticism. If you decide to leave a negative comment, make sure it's constructive. I was about to say deconstructive, which would be the complete opposite, but you know, whatever. My mind's going 100 miles an hour, which I guess is pretty fast for a mine. I don't know. I don't know what the mileage. See, I'm drifting here in conversation, but yeah. And if you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe. I'm guessing you already know how to do that since you've gotten as far as watching my channel. I mean, if you feel free to leave a message if you need to be walk through how to subscribe to my channel. I'll be happy to help, as long as I get that subscription. I don't care. But yeah, and if you didn't like this video, I have a bunch of other videos, and they're all nicely organized by playlists just for you. So hopefully there's a video you'll like and you'll subscribe, and we can be friends and talk about LOL cats on the internet or whatever you like to talk about. You know, I was just picking a random topic that you may or may not be interested in, just for example. We don't necessarily have to talk about LOL cats. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Take care. Bye.